2 weeks ago, when I went to visit Trevor on his 21st birthday, I found him lying on the floor of his bedroom, finally at peace. He was faking, of course.
Hi, I'm Gary.
I'm Rachel.
And this is What Do We Know? So today we're here at the Sunset Grill having breakfast.
So this week was my pick, and I picked The Fundamentals of Caring.
So The Fundamentals of Caring is about a young man with muscular dystrophy who is pretty belligerent, but funny too. And a guy who is having trouble in his life and seeking out some way to help others, I think. And so he takes a caring course and goes to help this guy. And then the rest of the story ensues, and it's a lot of fun. If you have a problem with language, you might not really want to watch it with your kids, right? The movie is rated mature, pretty much only because of the language. The language was really bad, which I don't understand. At one point, Benjamin has just given this huge tirade where basically every other word is the F-bomb, right? And then Trevor's character says,
"Is that the best you can do? That's it? I thought you were a writer. Fuck this, fuck that. That's really lame."
Right? Like, the whole movie felt like that to me. Why do you need to do this? I mean, I get it at certain points. It's developing the character. It's showing the kind of life that he has, the kind of way he looks at life, all of those things. And so, yeah, I kind of get that. But man, honestly, I'm thinking, how am I going to get clips for this video that are not going to have F-bombs in it? It was that bad. As far as the movie goes, it was a very good movie. There really wasn't there was no gore in it. They treated the whole disability thing really well. So generally, that was good. Mm-hmm. The production, I read somewhere that there were some pieces in it that really just did not look like Seattle or the parts of the country that were. It was actually shot in Georgia, which was the other side of the country from where it was supposed to be. But I guess maybe just I'm not from the States. I don't know. We're from Canada. People from the U.S. don't know places in Canada really, wouldn't have a clue. So, we don't really know all the places in the States. So it didn't really matter to me that. Mm-hmm. I actually thought I recognized Seattle, at least when they were driving out of Seattle.
So from Grey's Anatomy?
Oh, no, Space Needle. The Space Needle's pretty... Yeah, Craig Roberts did an amazing job of acting the muscular dystrophy. I mean, it's never easy, I think, to be able to act like that and make it look real. And he really did make it look real.
Mm-hmm. On our way here, Dad was commenting on his acting with his hands. His hands were very clenched and things, and it almost looked like they were like smaller, and it was natural instead of him acting that way.
We have enough newness going on here.
Dude, were you just doing air quotes? Don't ever do that again. Trust me.
I really appreciated how Trevor, even though he was stuck in this situation with muscular dystrophy, he really made light of the situation. Although at points he was frustrated and he knew that, his life was very hard. I really appreciated his character and how light he was even with this. I mean, he had his moments where he was very much like, I just want to go home, or this is too hard, or I can't do this. But then, I mean, the character Ben and then Trevor worked really well together, I think, because they kind of bullied each other, but in a loving way.
Yeah.
And that was a nice dynamic between the two of them, and it was very real.
Paul Rudd, he did a pretty good job too. I didn't find the acting to be really stellar. Like, it was good acting, but there wasn't any performance that really stood out and said, "Wow, they really nailed that." Except maybe Craig. Craig, like I said,
Craig was the one that did a really, really good job. I really appreciated the acting just in general in the show. Everyone did a good job. I mean, Selena Gomez was this angsty teenager who was running away from her parents.
It's hard to visualize Selena Gomez, I think, as this dirt mouth smoking person when you've seen her on Disney.
I know, that's the thing too, is she had a very foul mouth in this. But
I suppose that's why most Disney people have such trouble transitioning, right, into other roles, because they all have this, really clean and squeaky image.
So it kind of like, each person's their own, but it definitely, you can see it a lot more with Disney stars, them trying to separate themselves from their childhood and trying to move on from that, because everybody sees Selena Gomez as Alex from Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah.
So
She did such a good job in that too that it's hard to move on from that, right?
yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. Right. So, and somebody, they're in a role for so long, and then all of a sudden you see them in a role like this where they're swearing and smoking. And
I always wonder when I see these actors smoking if they actually smoke, or if this is just one of the fake cigarette things.
Yeah.
They're actually just acting.
The character Peaches as well, she kind of surprised me, because at first, I thought that her character was gonna, when they pick her up, when they take her along, I thought she was either gonna be like some sort of con artist, some sort of like...
Yeah, me too.
Like, she was just sketchy, kind of, and I hate to like stereotype, right? But she was just very odd. And I was a little worried where that was going to go, but she ended up being really nice and like getting along with them really well, and
So I kind of thought that the whole movie was about it's the journey of life, right? And about how you really need to step out there and just do things, right? I mean, that was really what they were trying to say with the character Trevor, that here's this guy who's locked in a room, who never gets out, never does anything, dreams about it all, just never does it, right? And then Paul Rudd's character Benjamin comes along. What kind of name is Benjamin? Anyway, he comes along and he kind of encourages them to get out there and to do life. Mm-hmm. And then it just became this whole allegory, I think, of life and just getting out and doing things, Trevor gets his first date, and there's all this stuff about love, about the awkwardness of starting that.
He gets to pee standing up.
Yeah, his great big dream is to pee standing up. You know what? Maybe I'm going a little too deep. Maybe it really wasn't intended like this, but I kind of see the hole at the end as being the end of life. The hole represents death, the end, right? The end of the trip, the big hole, the void, right? And then he pees in it. And I'm thinking, just excuse my language, piss on death. Yeah. So maybe that's what it was all about.
That's a cool move.
Did they think of that when they were writing it? I don't know. What do I know?
I liked how throughout the journey, like, Ben was there to motivate Trevor to continue on. Like, this whole road trip was, something that Trevor wanted to do. Yeah, it would have been interesting if they had done the, like, road trip to all the places. Like, actually done the road trip to all the places.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Even the other characters did too, right? Selena Gomez's character, Dot, she encouraged him to go as well, right?
Like, are you really gonna...
I have exactly one life, and for reasons I myself don't really understand, I now believe that life will not be fulfilled unless I'm standing at the bottom of the world's deepest pit with you two perverts.
And I really appreciated how she didn't really see his disability as a disability. She was very much like, why can't you do this? Who says you can't?
We all have things in life that limit us, right? That make it difficult, And we need to get past those things, right? And move on. And again, I think that's where the allegory of life came in. You really just need to step out there and do it. Yeah. So this was a Nike movie. Just do it.
Just get out there and do it. No matter what, you can do it.
I don't think Nike had anything to do with it. No sponsorship, nothing. So. A little plug for Nike. Nike, if you want to send us money.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But
I'll tell you, one of the things I really did like, there was one moment that really pulled at my heartstring. It might just been as a dad, like when Dot's dad showed up, and Ben was talking to him, and how he said, you know what, I'm not going to win Father of the Year, but I'm not going to let my daughter go all the way alone. And he was just following her, just making sure she was okay. And I was like, that got me. Maybe it was just because I'm a dad.
Well, no, it was interesting because, of course, Benjamin's like been followed by this guy. You guys go ahead, and I'm just gonna figure out what's going on here.
Well, of course, he didn't know who he was.
No, of course, he just thinks that this guy is following them, and he's confused. confused, right? So he goes over to confront him and finds out that it's Dot's dad.
The plot tended to kind of amble along a bit, right? It never really moved quickly, but it did kind of develop the story. This was a bit more of a life story again, too, so that's okay.
It's a very loose plot, though, because it was basically just they're going on this road trip, and then everything else that happens along the way was kind of just like extra stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was it the first stop? They wanted to see the world's largest cow?
Bovine.
Bovine.
World's largest bovine, which is a cow.
It was held on like the second floor of the barn.
Yeah, I'm thinking like, who puts a cow on the second floor of a barn?
No, and then you find out it was like
of course it's
taxidermy.
like, that makes sense then, doesn't it?
But then of course Trevor's like, well, what am I gonna do? I can't get up there in my wheelchair, right? And so he's like, let's just leave. And Benjamin's like, no, like, what the heck, and all this stuff, and he's threatening them to like call I don't know what he was going to call, because they weren't very accessible and all this stuff, and so everybody helps to get Trevor up the stairs. He looks at the cow for 2 seconds and is like, all right, well, I'm ready to go, and they're all like, oh my gosh.
It was a bit of a life thing too, though, wasn't it? Right? Like, I mean, on the one hand, it was nice to have the commentary on disabilities, and you know, we really should be trying to accommodate disabilities and so on. But on the other hand, it was a story of life. You know, the struggles that we have, and just do it.
On a rating of 1 to 10 bacon strips.
Because who would actually have 10 bacon strips?
Yeah. On a rating of 1 to 10 bacon strips, I think I give this movie a 9.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched it a couple times. Like, I really enjoy this movie. But
I think it's a pretty good movie, and I would definitely rate it high. But the language just, it kind of ruined it for me a bit, and I think maybe Selena Gomez's character, I feel like she was maybe brought in a little bit for the name. She really didn't fit the character.
I mean, they also had
totally well. So I would actually rate it about a 7. I think, bring it down just a bit. So 7 bacon strips.
right?
So we'll see you next time on What Do We Know?